All right, next segment, installation of a 3-4. We're going to walk you through how we put the defense in every year. We treat our old guys like our young guys, but really this is for any new coach in our system and also our young players. But we also like to reiterate this to our older guys, because the more our guys know even the simplest stuff, again, attention to detail, is going to make a big difference for the program. So here's just a look at our defense. As you can see, it's a balanced look. All right, we got here's our Sam right here. Okay, our safety. We got our end and our Mike. They all travel together. It's a strong right call. Okay. On the left side, we have our D tackle here. He's on a 4. We got our Will, weak side backer. We got our Jack, and we got our other safety, our Rover. They all always travel away from the call. All right. But again, some of the base things here we want to show you is we want to be in a base look, 2 high safeties, and be balanced. Okay. So getting started. Some of the things we do to get started, we're going to label our defensive positions. Okay, they're all going to be labeled. We label them all because a lot of our calls are going to involve those letters. So, for example, we have a Sam and a Mike. So we can call a smash blitz, right? That means the Sam and the Mike are going to blitz, complicated stuff. But it allows our guys to put that together with their letters. Our D-line stunts, like our J, he's going to have different blitzes that have the J in them. So he knows that, hey, I'm the guy that has to go in this blitz or this stunt. This helps our guys, reminds them what they're doing. Okay. Labels. So here's how we label our defense. Okay, our D-line, this is really for our young guys too. When they get here, they don't understand what the position, like where they are and what group. But their group would be D-line is nose, tackle, and end. Okay, they have one coach. Our outside backers are the Sam and the Jack. Our inside guys are the Mike and the Will. And then our secondary, we have the 2 corners. Okay, and we have a Rover and a Free. Now, with our program, we have a safeties and a corners coach. I think that's important to have 2 different guys. But one guy, if you don't have that, one guy can be fine doing it. But that's how we break it down for our kids. So at least they know where to go and as far as what groups they're in. All right. Position set up, again, there's their letter with their name. Again, I think that's important because then all of our stunts and blitzes, we will use that letter in the call. So I talked about Flame earlier. Flame is going to be the Free. He's going to be the blitzer on Flame. There's an F in it. All right, he's going to blitz the A gap on Flame, Free in the A gap. So that's why the letters are important for us and why we actually have a different letter for every position in our defense. Okay, set up. Talked about that. Okay, we're going to travel together, okay, in our calls. So N, Sam, Mike, and Free are always going to go to the call. If it's a strong right call, okay, they're going to go right. They're going to go to where that call is. We're going to determine that with our direction of call, which I'll talk about. Okay, but that's how that works. These guys are traveling away from the strength. Tackle, the J, the W, and the R are going to travel away from the strength. The nose guard is always going to be in the middle, so we don't need him to travel any which way as far as that goes. And obviously the corners, we may have just right and left. We may have a boundary corner and a field corner. Depends on your setup and where you're at with your program and who those guys are. If you do have one guy that's better, though, we like to put him into the boundary. All right, our Sam makes the strength call. Everybody's going to echo it. It's right or left. Hey, he may make a mistake sometimes. No one's perfect. But if he calls it wrong, we're going to run it the way he calls it. Because as long as we're all lined up, our defense and our adjustments and our rules allow us to be sound and have success, no matter what the formation is. So it's important that our guys understand that. He's going to make the strength call. We're all going to echo it from there. Because a lot of times the strength call will also determine any adjustments or where the front's moving based on that call. Okay? In our call, there's 4 parts to our defensive call. Right? We have a direction of strength. I'm going to explain all these. We have a front, we have a stunt or movement, and then we have a coverage. So every time a call is given out to the players, the communication system, there's 4 parts to that call that they'll hear. Okay, the first one's going to be direction of strength. So what does that mean? Well, these are examples of what that strength could be. Okay, we can make a tight call. If we say tight as the first thing, it means if Sam is going to call the strength to the 3-man surface or to the tight end. We always say 3-man surface because now we get some teams that do unbalanced and tackle over stuff. We want them to call that to the 3-man surface. Okay, so that'll be to the 3-man surface to the tight end. That's a tight call. Field, very common. A lot of programs do this. They're going to call their front to the field. So that'll be the strength. So the ball's on the left hash. We're making a strong right call. Now we already know where we're going. We're getting lined up. We're good to go. Okay. Split would be the 2 receiver side. And number 3, the passing strength, that's our default. So if we don't give a directional call, if we just, so Okie's one of our front, if we just said Okie Riz 3, for example, that would mean we're going to call the front to the passing strength. All right, makes it easy for our Sam. They already know that. It's built into the system. Okay, fronts. So the second part of our call is going to be the front. So you have the direction, then you have the front. Okay, 3 fronts for us that we run. Okie, we're going to be in a 4-eye, 0, and a 4-eye. Now, obviously, those they can change based on the team we're playing, based on the call. We want a line to execute based on the defensive call and what we're doing. So those can change. But as a base, that's Okie. We have a bear look for our 3 guys, and then we have our green look, okay, which would be more of a 4-man front with 2 3s and 2 5s or 9s. But that's the second part of the call. The third part of the call will be the stunt or the movement. We don't always have a stunt or a movement. It could just be Okie 3 is a call, right? There's no stunt or movement. But if we have a stunt or movement, that'll be the third part, we'll say, in the communication system. Line stunt, rip, Liz, jam, like different. So jam will be a movement by the jack into the A gap. Okay, any line stunts will be there. Okay, any of our blitzes, either 5 or 6 man pressures, okay, whether it's zone or man behind it, they'll be also in there. And then we some other calls like blitz the formation, some other things you may throw in there. They go in the third part of the call, stunts and movements. And the last part is going to be the coverage. All right, and that's most important to our second and third level defenders. They need to know what the coverage is. If it is a pass, if they're not rushing the quarterback, they're now in coverage. Okay, and those are some examples of some coverages we will play. All right, so getting started, base alignments. The starting point for our defense, okay? We will line up in Okie. We're going to be a 0 and 2 4s, obviously. Pretty simple. We want to show a 2-high shell so that we're balanced on defense. Okay, so our first call, okay, would be tight Okie Riz 3. So here you have tight, okay, that's the direction. You have Okie, okay, which is the front. The Riz is a D-line movement, right? Because we're going to move our line either rip or Liz. When we want to get lined up, we give them a rip or Liz call. And then 3 will be the coverage. So as our guys get this call from the sideline, they see the coaches, they're going to get tight Okie Riz 3. However we're signaling it out, or if we're using wristbands, doesn't matter. They'll get that call. Obviously, not everybody needs the whole call. The secondary, all they care about is hearing Riz 3. They know it's cover 3. Okay, the front, all they need to know is Okie Riz. They don't care about the 3. The second level guys need the whole thing, right? So you also, as we do it in our program, we have one guy that signals it in to everybody, but also you can look at your position coach to get final verification if you didn't get it or you missed it. But it's also important, and once that guy's on the ground, they're getting back up, our eyes all get back to the sideline to get the next call, all right? So how do we get lined up? So we don't huddle anymore. We used to huddle. We don't huddle because there's so many no-huddle teams now that we just don't huddle. We don't need to. Okay, and it just causes more problems than anything else. So we no longer huddle, so that's gone. The first thing we're going to do is get 22 eyes to the sideline. We're going to get the call. Our mic backer is going to give down and distance. Okay, say 1st and 10, so everybody knows what down distance is. Then we're going to get the call, and usually our will backer will re-say the call to the D-line and make sure they got the right call. The secondary will communicate to each other, make sure they are all on the same page, they got the right call. Okay? Then once the offense comes out, they get lined up. The Sam makes a strength call. So he'll make a right or a left call, and we'll get lined up as far as that goes. So here's a look at tight Okie Riz 3. I'm also going to show you some film of this in a couple minutes as we go through it. It's a right call because we said tight, so there's the tight end. 3-man surface, right? 1, 2, 3 from the center. There's my Sam, makes a right call. End Mike, free, Sam all travel together. Okay, he makes a rip. They echo the rip, and you see everybody's ladding. We're ladding to the inside gap. Okay, my jack knows that he's going to come. Because it's strong right, he's going to come off the edge. Remember that our jack, tackle, will, and rover all travel together away from the call. All right, he's a C-gap player. Okay, my Mike is now the B-gap player because we're moving towards him. And now my Willie is the A-gap player, right? So every gap is accounted for. We're gap sound. We have a rotation here from the secondary. They know we're going to rotate this way because the jack has to go because it's a rip call. And our secondary is always going to rotate away from the front. Opposite. So rip means left for them. So he's going to come down late to a hip position, okay, and take a picture, figure out what's going on. He's the force player. My free's going to work in the middle of the field. But again, we want to start with a 2-high shell pre-snap. Okay, so that was against Pro I, 21 personnel. Here's against a spread look, 11 personnel. 1 back, 1 tight end, 11 personnel. Again, it's tight. We're going to call it a 3-man surface. So 3-man surface is to the right. The Sam would say right. Everybody gets lined up. Rip again. Really no difference here. The only difference now is number 2 for the rover is now wider. So he's going to come down on number 2. Okay, and be aware of that. If you look at this picture, number 2 is in the backfield. So he has no immediate vertical threat. On a pass here, he would work to double number 1 with the corner. Okay? On a pass here, now he has to read his M-loss, but also be ready for a vertical route by number 2. All right, so he has to be aware of where number 2 is pre-snap. Same with the Sam. Sam has to know that as well. Right now, the number 2 for the Sam is the tight end, so he's lined up on him. He wants to be physical on that guy and not let him release. If it is a pass, he will drop curl to flat. And our corners are in a walk technique. They're playing their third. All right, so here's a left call. This is 10 personnel. So you have 1 back. There's 0 tight ends. So passing formation a lot, depending on who you're playing. But we're still gonna go with a Liz call. It's tight. There's no tight end, right? So now we're gonna go. If it stays in the middle of the field, say it's a right-handed quarterback, he makes a strong left call. So we're all lined up. Doesn't really matter. We make a Liz call. That tells the secondary how to rotate on this. And again, we're getting our lats. Gaps are the same. Sam's coming. Now this is a change for the Sam. Number 2 is now split out. So now he has to line up in accordance with where number 2 is. Not going to line up on him. He's going to apex it, depending on how you want to do it in your program. We usually have him halfway between that man line of scrimmage, okay, and number 2. So he should be halfway between those two. He's reading his key. He's in, stakeout position there, reading his key. All right, now we got a trips check here. All right, so we got a rip call. Well, strong right first. So Sam's going to go to the trip side. Okay, tight was the call. Okay, but if there's no tight end, which there isn't, there's no 3-man surface here, right? They're both 2-man surfaces. That means he's going to call the front to this passing strength, which is over here. So it's strong right. Okay, the secondary is going to make a trips check. Obviously, Riz 3 is still on, so our D-line is still running Riz. No changes there. Okay, if they make a club check, okay, the club check means the corner is going to play the flat. Sam is now going to play in between 2 and 3 and play skiff, play the curl. Our free is going to be over top in the half. Rover's going to work in the middle of the field, and our cornerback side is going to be solo. Now the tough one here is going to be our Will. He has to match the back. If the back comes out, he's going to match that guy with that coverage. Now, there's lots of different trips coverages to play against trips. We have to have a check for it. Some teams put 2 words. They might say 3 club, which means we're going to play 3. If they come out in trips, we're going to play club. That's one way to do the trips check. We kind of let our guys handle that, and we coach them up what do we want to be in, depending on who we're playing. If this guy is really good back here, all right, we may just stay cover 3. All right, stay cover 3, keep this guy down, let him work more in the middle. All right, it's not great against the pass, but it helps this guy out a little bit with more protection. There's all different things we can do coverage-wise to help this guy out on the backside. Another example is breeze. So tight Okie breeze 3, same concept for us, but now we're going to send the front towards the back. So now you see the Sam is going to come. So the secondary, all they're listening for again is the rip Liz call. So we got strong left here against 2x2. Sam makes a left call. Okay, rip. That means our D-line is going to go to the right. The Sam is now going to be the blitzer. Now our Jack is going to be in coverage. Right now he plays skiff over here. He's going to apex number 2 and the tackle, the M-man line of scrimmage. Our secondary is going to rotate, right, opposite the call. So it's rip for the front. It's left for the secondary. Our free's coming down to play the hip, and our rover is going to the middle, and we're playing cover 3 behind it. To finish with the installation part, our base setup here is going to be base front, 4-eye 0 and a 4-eye. Outside backers aligned according to the offensive formation. They're lined up off of number 2, which will be outside in 1, 2. So the second guy in, that's what they're going to line up on. Linebackers are at 4.5 yards. They're going to line to execute their assignment. So if I'm the A-gap player, I have to be somewhere near the A-gap. Probably need to be in a 30 at least, if not a 20, depending on where the back is. If they have 2 backs and one's offset, I got to widen my alignment to make sure we don't get out leveraged. All right, but that's the linebackers. Our safeties are going to start at 12. Their line is going to depend on where number 2 is. Where's number 2's width? How wide is he? Okay, if he's a slot, I'm going to be a little wider. If he's a tight end, I'll be closer. If I only have 1 receiver and 2's in the backfield, my initial alignment will be over top of a ghost tight end. Imagine there's a tight end there, even though he's not, as number 2. That'd be my pre-snap alignment. Then I move to where I need to get to execute my job. Our corner's at 7 yards deep and 1 yard inside. Okay, we can move post snap to different leverage if needed, but we want to kind of show that same look, base setup, pre-snap to the offense every play, and then move from there. One last look at it, all right, before we move on. But again, you see it's a strong right call. This is in a game, so we got our Sam, End, Free, and Mike all travel together, and our tackle, Jack, Will, and Rover travel away from the call. Strong right call. We're balanced against that set. I'm going to talk you through a chart we use for all of our calls. So Okie Riz 3 is the main call we're starting with here with our 3-4. As we get you guys into our system, you already saw the drawing of it. You've seen some film of it. This is actually the chart we have. So all of our calls will have all 11 guys. And I divided it into 3 sections so we can show it on the PowerPoint. That's why I have it divided. Usually it'd just be on one sheet. On the top of the page would be the drawing of the play, which you guys saw already. Then the bottom of the play of the sheet would be this chart. So we're going to talk through each chart real quick, and so you understand what it's saying and what we're doing in each position. Okay. So for Okie Riz 3, our base call, our nose is going to be a 3 or 4 point stance. His alignment's going to be a 0 head up. He's going to lat to the Ripper Liz call, as we talked about already. He's going to be the A-gap player. He is chase on any play either way. On play away from him, he's going to chase flat in the line of scrimmage. And on a pass situation, he's going to be a pass rusher in the A-gap. He wants to stay in that pass rush lane on his side of the center to create an integrity. Because remember, on this, we're going to rush 4 guys. So we want to keep pass rush integrity as that goes. And on option, he would be the dive player. All right, for our end's going to be in a 3-point stance. He's going to be a 4. Could be a 4 or a 5 as well, depending on who we're playing and how we want it to line up that week. But we're going to lat to the Ripper Liz call. Again, he's going to be working to the Sam a lot of times on Okie Riz 3. So if he's working to the Sam, say he's, in this scenario, it's a rip call. It's a strong right call. He's going to work C-gap. Okay, he'll run away. He is chase. He'll react late to the boot. His initial key on play away is going to be to get flat and chase. Okay. If we want him to go to the quarterback, we put him in a D-gap and have a different term for that. But he's going to stay flat with eyes to the quarterback as he chases on any kind of play away, especially fast flow away. Now he wants to kind of gear it down a little bit more because now you're thinking about more of a chance of boot coming back. He won't be a factor in a fast flow play away from him. On a pass, he is a contained rusher. Obviously, you want to sack the quarterback, but he's got contained. And on option, because he's a C-gap player, he has the quarterback on option. Okay, now our D tackle. Again, he goes away from the call, so it's a strong right call with a rip. He's going to be to the left. He's going to line up in a 3-point stance on the offensive tackle in a 4, a 4 or a 5. He will lat. So if it's a rip call, he'll be latting to the B gap to his inside. On play to him, he's going to cover the B gap, obviously. On run away, he is chase. And again, these guys will spill any kick out blocks or trap blocks. So anytime they get trapped, they're going to spill that block and force it 1 gap wider. On pass, he's an inside rusher as well, just like the nose is. He would have option on dive. Okay. Now we're moving on. So now we go to the linebackers. Again, we have 4 guys here, the Sam, the Jack, the Will, and the Mike. The call is Okie Riz 3. Imagine it's a strong right call. We got a rip call going. So my Sam will be to the right. He's going to get lined off on number 2. Number 2 is his key. That's who he lines off of. So he's going to line up off of number 2. If it's a tight end, he'll be 1 by 1 off the tight end. If it's split, he'll be apexed between the slot and the offensive tackle. He's going to be keying MLOS for a run pass. On run to him, he is the D-gap player. Right? He's going to have force it back inside. If for some reason they get a base block on the end, then he would fold back inside on any kind of inside run. Any play away from him, he now is going to check BCR, boot counter reverse. On a pass, he's the curl flat dropper, right? He's skiff dropper for us. And then on option, he has the pitch because he's a skiff player. Remember that outside guy, D-gap player, always has pitch on option. The Jack is going to be away from the call, strong right. So he'll be on the left side. He's going to rush off the edge in the C-gap. He can be in a 2-point or 3-point stance if he wanted to. Some of our guys once in a while get in a 3-point stance. But we like to have him hold disguise by standing up and coming off the edge. He's a C-gap player. He will still line off number 2. So if number 2 is wide, he'll apex and then come from there, come from space. If number 2 is a tight end, he can line up on the tight end. He can cross his face and C gap. And if number 2 is in the backfield, he would then just come off the edge and replace the tackle's feet. He is a spill player. On play away, he is chase as well. If it's a boot, he's going to get his eyes as a quarterback, but he's going to chase first and then react late to boot. On a pass, he's contained rusher, so if we get a drop back pass, play action, sprint out to his side, he is contained rush. Keep the ball inside. And on an option, because he's a C-gap player, he would have the quarterback on option. Okay, the will and the mic. The will is going to be in a 20 technique. He's away from the call. He run to him, he's going to be A gap. Because remember, the nose is going strong A, the tackle is going weak B, so he would be weak A. That would be his gap on run to him. On run away, he's going to shuffle stack. He's a scrape player. He's playing cloudy clear, trying to find the football. On a pass, he'd be a hook dropper because we're playing cover 3 behind it. It's a very simple drop for him. And then on option, he would be dive to scrape. So he option at him, he would just fill his gap right now, unless it was cloudy. They veer release and it's cloudy, then he's going to get over the top because now our D tackle and our jack will take the inside gaps, take first threat. All right. Our Mike, 30 technique, run to him. He's going to be the B gap player because, again, the nose is going strong A, our end's going strong C because it's a strong right call. He's to the right. So he'll be a 30 technique. He's got B gap on run to him. Run away, he's going to scrape. He's a hook dropper on the pass. If we get pass, hi-hat pass, he's working to his side on the hook. And cover 3 for us, that is a special deal. He knows where to go. On option, he's going to play dive to scrape. So I'll play at him. He'll tackle the dive in the B gap. Again, same as the will, sorry. If he gets a veer release by the tackle and it's cloudy, he will work to the next gap using their cloudy clear principle. That's the best thing for those two guys is always think about cloudy clear. We do so much movement that sometimes things get messed up. We mess the offensive line up. But the biggest thing for them, understand your gap, but also know that sometimes it might just be a cloudy clear read of where to go and where to fit. Our secondary, okay, Okie Riz 3 is the call. It's strong right. So that means our free will be to the right side. We're going to be in a 2-point staggered stance. Okay, he's going to work to the middle of the field. I want to start with a 2-high shell and show that shell to the offense. I'll be 10 and 12 yards off the line of scrimmage, lined off of number 2. So number 2 is a slot. Okay, I'll be slightly inside of him at 10 to 12 yards, but I'll make sure I can work to the middle of the field by the time the ball is snapped. If number 2 is in the backfield, I will line around a ghost tight end, which means a space next to the tackle, and work from there. On any kind of run play, I'm going to run the alley. I'm inside out on run, running the alley to make the tackle, because remember, there's somebody on the outside forcing it back into me. All right. If it's a pass, I'm a deep middle player. First thing I want to make sure is I have deep middle covered. I'm going to cover the deep middle of the field. On option, I would run the alley, quarterback to pitch. We have a quarterback player and we have a pitch player. I'm the cleanup guy. I'm the extra guy in there. So I'm going to work all the way through that progression to make the play. All right. Our rover, if it's a right call, he'll be to the left. And because it's going to be a rip call up front, we know the rover's coming down to a hip position. So he's going to drill down to hip. He's going to start at 10 to 12 yards to show that 2-high shell with the other safety. I'm going to come down. I'm going to line off a number 2. If number 2 was a slot, I'm going to apex between the offensive tackle and number 2. If he's a tight end or it's a 3-man surface, then I'm going to work to about 4x4, wherever you guys feel comfortable in your program of putting that guy, but he'll be somewhere off the edge so he has the ability to read M-loss, take a picture, and react to what's happening. Remember, whenever you come down to a hip position as a safety, you're a D-gap player. You're going to read M-loss for your read. On play away, you are a BCR, check boot counter reverse. On a pass, okay, he's going to play curl to flat, basically a skiff dropper, worry about the seam to the curl is the most important part of that drop. And then we're going to have a pitch on option. So that's for our rover. Our corners are exactly the same in this. They're playing cover 3. So they're going to be 1x7 inside of a receiver, or it could be 1x5 depending on how you want to play them. They can show bail sometimes, go up and press and bail if they would like. They can mix that up. We're a walk technique for them, so on the snap of the football, they're going to walk 1, 2, 3. By their third step, they really should know if it's run or pass. We take that slow release because we want to play 3-step still, so we're ready to react on 3-step and make the tackle. So that's their solid technique for doing that. Then after that, they got to get out. Then they got to pedal and run to get to their zones. They got to be aware of their threats. If they have 2 vertical threats in their zone, they got to know that. They got to midpoint them with their drop. On run to the corners, they're always late. And what late means is they're late contained. They don't come up for the football till it crosses the line of scrimmage. You want to make sure they stay back. If I'm the corner away from the play, I'm the touchdown saver. So if I'm the left corner and the ball goes to the right, I'm going to make sure nothing's coming back, get depth, and I'm going to run on a good angle to be a touchdown saver on the other sideline, okay, to make that play. And again, those plays are huge plays. If they happen in the game, they'll knock that down and make them run a few more plays to score. We hope we get our chance to stop them. So we've had some big plays from that in the past. Like I said, on pass, you can see in the last chart there, they're deep third. They're reading for 3-step, and on option, they're late to the option. The corners are our guys that make sure we don't get many trick plays. Option pass, toss pass, double pass, anything like that. Their job is to stay back, make sure the ball is across the line of scrimmage, then they can come up and make a play. All right, continuing on with tight Okie Riz 3, here's a look at for our playbook, how we draw it up for our players. You can see it's going to be a strong right call, right. The Sam and the linebackers will make the rip or Liz call here. It goes with the Riz part of it. Remember, there's 4 parts to our call. The direction, which is the tight. So there's a tight end in the game. We're going to make a tight right call. So it'll be a right call. It's a strength based on the directional. Okay, the front is Okie. We're talking about Okie front. Okay, so we have our 0. We have our 2 head-up 4s. We have our 2 outside linebackers, the Sam and the Jack. Okay, the Riz part is going to be Rip or Liz. So we're going to make that call. Sam will make it and be echoed by a linebacker, so the D-line knows which way to go, which also create a rotation from our secondary. If you remember what we talked about earlier, okay, our Mike and Sam and Free will always travel to the call together, which they do here in the diagram. And then our tackle, our Will, our Jack, and our Rover will always travel away from the call. So we got a right call. These guys go left. We're going to rotate. The secondary rotates opposite the rip call. So we got rip, so the secondary is going to rotate left. So we have our Rover coming down late to a hip position. He's going to apex off of number 2. Remember, our edge guys always line off number 2 from the offense. We count outside in. So 1 to 2, 3. Over here it'd be 1, 2 with the tight end to 3 to the back. So our Rover's going to line up off number 2. Our Sam is lined up off number 2 because we're moving the front towards him. So he knows as an outside linebacker now, he's lined up on number 2. His technique is based off the alignment of number 2, whether he's attached or not attached. So here we have an attached tight end. He's going to be lined up 1 by 1 outside of him, and that's his key. Our D-line is going to lateral lead to their right because it's a rip call, taking a 45-degree angle step vertical, attacking their gap. They really want to try and get that second foot in the ground vertical. First step, lateral lead. Second step, vertical in their gap up the field. Okay, get square in their hole and then react to their key, which will change based on where the play is going. They're going to react to that lineman, okay? Mike and Will, pretty much the same for them. As always, they're going to be in a 30 or a 40 technique. Okay, the Will's a little bit wider here because of the back. Okay, it's going to widen his alignment, but their gaps are still going to be the same. If we're going rip, the Mike knows he's going to go to the B gap on flow to him. The Will knows he has A gap on flow to him. Our corners are playing cover 3. We'll try to disguise that a little bit as best we can, but they're thirds players reading for 3-step. They're late to the run, right? Never in a hurry to get to the run. They're deep players. Our Free, the safety rotating to the middle on the rotation. He's going to work to the middle of the field. He wants to be deep. Make sure it's going to be a run. Read his keys. We usually tell him to read open lineman, okay, for hi-hat to the ball. Any run play, he's going to run the alley, okay? So he's going to run inside out in any kind of run play because we have guys outside that are forcing the ball back inside at all times. Our roll down safety, you see right here, the Rover's going to start at 10 to 12 yards off of number 2. The same with him. Remember, our safety's a line off of number 2 as well. All right, so their alignment's off of where number 2 is on the offense. They're going to roll from there. We always want to start with our base of showing that 2 high shell as you see in this picture. Okay? So now we'll roll a play here. Okay, here's an example. Okay, we got a strong right call. This is our Sam right here, number 7 on the edge. Okay? He's right outside. Here's our Jack over here. Okay, there's only one guy of width on that side, so he's going to be lined up tighter because number 2 is now in the backfield. We have a rip call here, so the line's going to be working to the right. I'll show the D-line first. Okay, you can see the end. Good job, he's coming here. It's a tight end tray look. Okay, here comes our D end to the C gap. Our nose is going to work to A gap. Very good job by the nose here. On the back side, Okay, we got our backside tackle right there. See how he works to stay in B gap? It's a really good job by him of staying in his gap. The only mistake here would be our fit by our linebacker. We need our linebacker right here to fit in this A gap. As you can see, that's where the ball hits. He's in the wrong gap. And what happens a lot of times is they run that motion and guys stop following their keys. They see that motion, takes them out of their key. They got to trust their keys and play fast. Now what you're seeing on the back end, this is 3-by-1. Okay, so the diagram we had was 2-by-2. You're seeing the 3-by-1 look, but they're motioning out of that to a 2-by-1 look. Right, so as the motion comes, you're going to see the strong safeties over here. Right now, I'm sorry, the free is over here. The rover's in the middle. As the motion comes, now we should get him switched up. Here he comes. He's coming back. He should be over here now. Okay, we need a second guy. That is the rover right there coming back to be the hip player. The strong safety actually is wrong. He should be working to the middle of the field. All right. That way we get, because whenever they get 3-by-1, we have to change our coverage. Okay, it's still cover 3, but now we're working back cover 3 the other way. See the Sam's doing his job. He's on the tight end, outside shoulder, playing his gap. Okay, the Mike backer, it looks like flow at him. Now the Mike backer needs to fit in his gap. The Mike should be fitting in the A gap. I'm sorry, the B gap there, because we're coming this way. It's a rip call, so our whole line's coming to the right. You see the jack on the edge, and the run and dive option. So he should be coming flat, okay? And now he sees that's going to slow him down. He's going to take the quarterback. And then our rover, who's going to end up being the hip player always has pitch on option. Okay, so that's Riz 3 right there against that look. All right, here's another look at it. We'll go to the wide. Okay, now we got 2-by-2, right? One back. We got a Liz call here. It's strong right. So now we're actually going to be attacking to the back. Okay, so we got a strong, there's our Sam. Okay, there's our rover walk down. Okay, our freeze in the middle of the field back here, playing cover 3. Here's our jack, a little too soft by the jack. He should be a little bit wider, okay, and not so much of a back pedal. He should just be reading his keys. Remember, the jack, the edge players are reading their M-loss. Okay, the line should be coming to the left. Go back to the tight so you can see them. You see the 3D lineman, okay? There's the end, the nose, and the tackle. You're going to see them working to their left and then reacting to their keys. Of course, it's a quick screen, so we got to get out of there and run to the football fast. Okay, the Sam is coming on this. He's off the edge. All right, he sees the pass, reacts to his key here. Just got to tackle a little bit better, but you can see the effort there and what we're trying to accomplish. Go back to the wide again. Okay, here's the same play. You see our corner up top. Okay, probably a little bit too wide, but again, our corners are cover 3 here, so they're thinking about deep to short. They're playing deep first. Okay, our outside backer, who is now the safety, walk down. Okay, because there's our rover back there. Free is down. Now, the thing that's important to understand on this is he is the force player. So he shouldn't even hesitate there. He should run through that outside leg of the back, force that ball carrier to cut back, or he makes the play. He shouldn't hesitate on that play because everybody else is trusting him to force it back inside. The safety's angle is not very good because the safety, remember, is an alley player. The safety's going to run inside out on that, and the outside back should be forced. They should vice it along with everybody else running from the inside to the outside. Again, my jack should be a little bit wider because these guys are wide out here. He should be out here in space. He's reading M-loss, okay? He gets a pass set. He should be popping his feet and then reacting to the quarterback where the ball's going. Our corner fell down. We also always want to tell our corners to be careful. Remember, they're deep players first. Got to be careful about jumping that too fast. Here's another example. Okay, we got a strong left call. This is actually a zone blitz, but it also still shows you our movement up front. Okay, so we have the rip call here. The D-line's working to the right, as you can see. Here's a tight of the same shot. Okay, you see our nose here. It's a nice job. See how he steps, right? And he gets vertical, and then he gets square. Excellent job by number 12 there playing nose. Okay. Our DN here is too high and too slow, right? Got to use his hands. Get into that guy, attack the shoulder. He's working to the C gap. Our guy here should work to the B gap. Okay, it's a left call, all right? So this is our Sam right here. He's coming off the edge because we're running rip. There's our jack up top, okay? It's a dead end here. We call this a dead end because, I'm sorry, yeah, it's dead end because it's twins. Okay, they're 2 by 1. But here's our jack. He's lined up on his guy. Now he should keep his outside arm and leg free and play the outside D gap. We're cover 3 behind it. Now again, this is a zone blitz. We're actually bringing the safety this time. So that's right there, that's the free coming off the edge. It's an extra guy, so we're bringing 5. But still, the concept of recording cover 3 behind it and playing, and this is strike for us because we're bringing that strong safety, who we call the free, okay? That's a blitz for us, and we're running rip call. I'll let it run through now. So we get a big hit in the quarterback and a touchdown, which is always fun on defense. One more time from the tight. Okay, I like to see this D tackle here. So it's a left call, remember. So on a left call, we got Sam, end, nose, and then our tackle, right? Number 56 here. Now I like to see him work to that C gap. His key tells him on the snap of the football, that tackle's reaction tells me the ball is coming to my side. Okay, we're gonna watch it right here. That guy releases out on him. That tells me he's trying to keep me out there. He's trying to force me back inside. So my man's wrong. We should be working that gap and working to get outside leverage. Now the jack really is in coverage on this. I think because the reaction of the tight end blocking him and being on a dead end side. Dead end means there's no receiver outside of me. It's only one receiver. There's 2 backs in the backfield. Okay, so that's why he attacks the quarterback. Normally here, he would have to play the flat. If that tight end released, he would have to back up and play the flat. He's a curl flat player for us over there in cover 3 in this zone blitz concept. There's our Mike. That's a run read, really. It looks like a run read to me. I see how he's feeling. Now his guard does stand straight up. I'm not sure if that's just because he's a big guy or not, but he stands straight up. So I got to react to that key, and they always play run first, plus it's I backs. Okay, ISO type team, so I have no problem there. Mike stepping up in the gap. His job is to play the run first. Okay, the will's pretty good here on the backside. Okay, the guy we need to do a better job is going to be my man right here, my D tackle. Has to work to his gap. His job is C gap. And this is where you get in trouble if your guys don't do their job and play sound football. They try to do too much, like 56 does here. That can get us in trouble, right? Just do your job, right? That's all it is. Own your gap, control your position, and then run to the football. Okay, here's another look. Now this is 3 by 1 I talked about earlier. So we get 3 by 1. This is one possible check we can run, check club, where our corner's now going to squat in the flat, as you can see right here. There's all different kinds of things you can do in cover 3 versus trips, but you have to have some trips checks. We like to have 2 every game that look the same pre-snap, but then once the ball is snapped, we give you 2 different looks for the quarterback. Okay, we're always going to send the front to the trip side for right now in this coverage. Now, in order to send the front away from the trip side, we have to change our coverage, right? There's certain coverages we can run because it's all about run fits and where our support is. Okay, so right now, when we do this, okay, the will now becomes our match player. He has to match number 2. Okay, we always count outside in. Remember, 1, 2. So 2 would be the back over here. That's the quarterback. So he has to match. As number 2 came out, he would match that route. Okay, that would be the Will's job there to match number 2 on any pass. So if he runs a route, he would cover him. We're going strong right with a rip call here. So again, you can see our jacks coming off the edge in the C gap. Our D-line's all going to lateral lead to their right with the rip call. My Sam is now going to be out here in space in between number 2 and number 3 apexing. Okay. My corner would be clubbing the flat. The free would be over top playing the half. Again, this is a good against short throw teams, RPOs, early downs. Not so good against a third down type situation. Also good against screen teams because now you got your corner rolled up. It also depends on how good our corner is on the backside, right? Is he good enough to cover this guy? Because basically he's by himself. He's one-on-one. So is our guy good enough to cover their X receiver? If he's not, then we do some stuff. We're rolling the coverage back the other way to the single side, right? And then maybe we're going to send the front this way, okay, to help out with run game, allow us to have our safety and corner have a 2-on-1 with that guy. That's a 3-by-1 game we always play. You guys are familiar with that, I'm sure. All right, so let's watch a couple of these. All right, so we're going Liz here. Working to our left. See the nose is going left A gap. Here's our D end, okay? It's a strong left call. Here's our Sam. Here's our Jack out here. Okay, nice catch by the safety there. So we got a dead end situation again. So dead end means we got a tight end backside, but to the strong side we have 3 receivers. That's 1 back. Okay, so they're 3-by-1. We're in a trips check over here. Okay, here's my corner. He's going to play thirds over top of the tight end. My Jack now is going to, since we're moving the front away from him, he's going to be attacking it. He should be rushing the quarterback on this. Okay, another thing, we always got to work on pass rush. That's going to be one of the talks during this discussion as well, is, you know, your directional pass on pass rush, how to pass rush. You can see right here, number 2, he just runs in there and gets blocked. Okay, he doesn't use his hands, just gives up his chest. We're going to work a move there, dent rip, club rip. You know, go be a football player. You're rushing, we need you to get to the quarterback. Okay, so that's one of the things we'll talk about later as well. Number 10 is wrong. Okay, he's in the wrong gap. He should be working to the B gap. I like my Sam here, how patient he is. This is important. We talk about taking a picture when you're in space, okay? Any linebacker or safety who's not a deep player, so a safety rolled down in like Riz 3 or an outside linebacker, Sam or Jack, anytime they're that outside player like that, we want to take a picture. There's no reason to be in a hurry to go anywhere. Just take a picture and then react to what you see. Okay, we get an interception here. Want to make sure we get everybody blocked, which we did a pretty good job of getting the quarterback and getting, you know, high and in front. Don't make any mistakes there, getting a penalty. One more time. Okay. We got a rip call here. So our line's gonna be moving right. You can see a nice job here by that guy working, staying in his gap. You need to get off the football here in our gap. We don't want to hop. Attack your edge or C gap. The nose is attacking A gap, creating separation on the center. Pretty good job by the nose. He's doing a good job of doing what he's supposed to do, right? Be in your gap, do your responsibility. We need our linebacker to fill here. We got a pull call. So our linebacker needs to see that. He's wrong. He didn't see his key, 54. He should see the guard pull. Shuffle, stack. Other backer can fire his gun here. Unless he sees it's cloudy. Well, it looks like he sees a cloudy look, so he's going to slide to the next gap, which is a very good job, and he makes the tackle. Here's our Sam. Okay, he's reacting to his key. He's getting an outside release. He's in pass on this. Remember, we're going rip. We're moving to the right. That means the Jack is in the blitz, okay, in the stunt. He's going to be attacking. It depends how you coach this, all right? For our guy right here, we'd like him to spill this instead of hard join it. You see how he takes it on with his outside arm and keeps it inside? We'd rather see him spill that play. Again, but it's on how you're going to do your defense and how you're going to set it up. You just got to be consistent with what you're doing. If he's going to spill, then we have to have somebody to spill too, which means our backer has to get over the top, which that's where he's headed anyways, cloudy clear. Okay, here's another look at one, 3-by-1. Got a rip call here. Good hit by the Sam there on the quarterback, came up late. Okay, our nose is a pretty good football player. You can see he's quick, aggressive to his gap. Needs to be a little better with his hands, okay? Doesn't use his hands enough. I like to see all of our D-linemen use their hands more. Same here, 56. He should be working right now to C gap. He's our D end, okay? I say 55, sorry, but he should be working the C gap right now. Attack that guy, use your hands, knock his hands down, and get up the field. You know it's sprint out or some kind of reach block there by the tackle. Also, you're going to notice here, whenever we have our Sam or Jack on a tight end, we always want to make contact with that tight end. That's something we're pretty big on. We want to be physical on those tight ends and not allow this release right here. This is a poor job by our Sam. He misses, right? And it's all because of his eyes. Remember, everything we talk about is predicated on eyes and seeing your key and reacting to that key and being physical. Okay, you can tell his eyes are in the backfield. You can see that his eyes are in the backfield. You've got to see your key and take care of your key first. Your key will tell you what to do next, right? That's what we talk about all the time in our defense is preaching playing fast, seeing your key, reacting to what your key does. But good hit there on the quarterback. I will do one more. Okay, here's a wide shot of it. Okay, now this is just showing, now we're in Mafia. Okay, so Mafia is man free for us. Okay, the M and the F in there can tell you it's man free. So everything's the same up front. So for our front, nothing changes. Okay, we're still running Riz here. Okay, we're going to be going to the right. It's a rip call. So here's our jack. Our jack's going to come. All right, he's coming C gap. Our Sam is now in man. Because they're in a 3-by-1 set, he has the tight end man-to-man. Corners have one. Okay, we have a safety in the middle of the field back here. That's our rover. Our free is down now. His technique's not great, but he has number 2 man-to-man. I think they're comboing that combination because of the stack look, okay? But this is a man-free look versus 3-by-1, but our front is moving, okay, to the tight end. Oops, let me go back to that. All right, here you go. All right, so you're going to see the D-line. They're going to be moving this way. Pretty good movement, okay? Okay, he's got him man-to-man. He should have a same player, same problem, right? Eyes in the backfield, all right? So we gotta work on him getting his eyes on his man. That's his key, and his man if he goes downfield. Okay, end here, not bad, getting your gap. So remember, it's a right call. So you have Sam, end, Mike, okay, and then out here is gonna be our free, and the rover is gonna travel with our tackle, our jack, and our will. This is a tough block right here for our nose. He's the A-gap player. Okay, as he steps there, he gets a down block. That's tough for him, right? That's a hard way. We got to train wreck that. That's a base block in our base progression of blocks. So we got to train wreck that block, try and get his butt back in the hole, create separation, and stay in our gap. The big issue here is our Mike. He's got to fill right now. That's a Red Sea read if I ever saw one, right? The C's part. You got to get up in there and fill that thing right now. Don't stop your feet in the hole. My Willie sees a pull call. He's going to make a pull call and shuffle. Okay, we ask our guys to put their hand up so we know they say it. Pull, right? We see that. So we know that they see the pull happening. Let's see one more guy here to D-tackle. Okay, he's getting blocked back on. So on this, when his key ends up pulling. 74 is going to be his key. As he goes down inside to the B gap, he pulls. I have to make a choice. Either I'm going to get on this guy's hip if I can, or I have to cross face and go over top 55. He ends up crossing face here. You're going to see it. Not a bad cross face though. Okay, pretty good job of cross facing on that to get back in there. It's just power. The one thing I do like about the Sam though is how he saw his down block. He stayed where he was. He didn't try and run inside and make the play, because what ended up happening is they did their job inside good enough that forces the ball to bounce. And now our Sam's sitting there. And even though he doesn't make the tackle, well, he didn't make the tackle. Okay, I couldn't remember. But he made that play because he did his job, right? That's his guy, 45 man-to-man. He has him covered. He has the edge. Pretty good job there by number 7. Here's one more shot from the wide. So again, you can see it's 3-by-1. The first thing we're always going to determine, secondary-wise, is it 3-by-1, 2-by-1? What is the formation? Okay, 2-by-2. That determines the coverage we're going to play. So this one's easy. We're playing man-free. We know that one safety's going to be in the middle of the field, okay? Who right now, that is our rover, and one's going to be in coverage. Now for us, this guy was a better cover guy, so he would always be the adjuster. So he would take 2 strong or 2 weak in man-free stuff for us, okay? Because the Sam for us is always going to take 2 strong. Unless they get trips, then we're going to move him down on the tight end. He will take the least athletic of the 3 receivers. So right now it's easy as tight end. Sam has a tight end. Makes it easy. And we're moving that way to help out that call.